going to move on now to scale. So most CMOs want more from their CRM teams, more campaigns, more personalisation, more. You've only got a finite resource. How do you get over the blocker, which then is content creation? So we've now scaled up the operation, we've got more campaigns, there's not enough copywriting, there's not enough kind of creative asset production going on. How do you get over that?
Put more people in your content team. That's what we've been doing. We have a huge demand for content, so we kind of almost have the luxury of a team there. We can, they're extremely organised with their people working on it almost 24/7, so you can go and access content that's relevant, that's timely. But it has needed a big increase in human resource to do that. But actually some clever sharing technology behind the scenes to manage it. Today, you've been getting messages regarding a campaign. I'm not there today, but I can quickly refer people to the right place to go and find some content, or actually an asset that's already been produced that they can use. So I think it's not just about creating more, it's being organised about where you're housing it, your library, so that you can be reusing it if you need to. You can find it easily. Yeah.
Well, I suspect at some point today somebody's going to say AI, let it be me. There are all sorts of ways that AI can help. I think Karen's right, actually. If you can make your operational efficiency as high as possible, use as few of your budgeted human resources on making the cogs turn, release that budget to spend on creative people. I mean, imagine in Karen's industry, it's very time sensitive. You might have seen news today about the manager at Arsenal.
I have.
Yeah. And I saw it because there's a campaign, there's some messaging going out, presumably. That's time sensitive. Nobody probably knew exactly when ink would hit the paper, but you can have content ready for that. So it's clearly valuable to use creative human beings to do the graphic and content work to produce beautiful brand messaging. I think you can then make your automation systems really well engineered. So, for example, in our technology, we've got a mechanism called automated alternatives, and we will track not just an A/B test, but a multi-way test over time to find the champion and the challenger. And as soon as the champion is beaten by a challenger, we move on to the next set of content. And that can just be rolling. You can leave that campaign going, you can kind of feed the content funnel into it, and it will just keep testing and rotating that content that works well. At the moment, that's across the whole campaign. Imagine doing that regionally, for example. Imagine there are different supporter bases for Arsenal in different parts of the world. You might have regional skewing. So make the engineering work efficiently, release people to do the creative work. Perhaps you'll find that AI works, or at least helps them be more efficient. If they've written a sketch of what the content could be, use the AI to refine that so that it's got the right tone of voice, it's got the right image, and then make that into your content.
Can probably help within limitations and within a template, because I know from the data point of view, the more assets and the more first-party data we use, the more cohorts we identify that need a different type of communication. So you can see exponentially the amount of copy or variations go up and up and up. So if you have a few base messages that hit the right tone of voice, I think AI can make that level of personalisation possible, whereas in other iterations it'd be a case of no, we can only send out 4 versions of this email, whereas actually we've identified 40, 50 different cohorts that would benefit from a slightly different message.
So obviously we're going to need to rely on more automation and make it more efficient. How do we kind of maintain the human touch so that consumers on the other end aren't kind of being chucked into a program? I've got communication 3 of 5.
I think how we're tackling the Jockey Club is we're making decisions on what we can automate and what we can't. So for every fixture, we have 300 fixtures across the year. For every fixture, we've automated plan your day emails. So they go out automated, no human touches them. They're very basic, they personalise, they swap out on the different courses, different telephone numbers, different mastheads. So that can be automated, it doesn't need a human touch. And what we've done is we've moved the content from the email to the website destination. So I've got a colleague in the audience that's probably like, well, they've got to kind of, work on that content. We've also made another decision with our NPS surveys that go post an event. That's all been personalised, fires out the surveys, so they're great. I think where we've decided not to do that is when we have a fan base that is very much into horse racing. Some of them are. We have two types of customer really. We have people that love horse racing and people that just want to dress up, have a good time, drink some gin and tonics, and have a day out. But with the horse racing audience, we have to be so careful because they know the horses, they know the fixtures, they know the bridles, they know the race course picture from just an image. So we have to have humans checking that and making sure that that is all in place. I think one of the issues with automation is that, from what I've seen, is that the senior high-ups think that automation means that if you put in more automation, you don't need as big a team, or you can reduce your team. What automation actually does is it's allowed us to do things that we didn't do before, but we still need the people that we've got to do what we're currently doing as well. So for me, automation is a double-edged sword because it helps us, but it also gives expectations that robots can do what your resource is doing, your headcount.